right, you guys, so here's what I thought would be cool. Given that Star Trek Discovery came out last week, and I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but it was absolutely fabulous. And I was completely shocked, really, at how cinematic it felt, at how intense the show felt, at the performances, all of that. Now, keep in mind that this show is on CBS streaming, so it's amazing that I was watching on my computer that on like a little 24-inch monitor, it could actually come across as impactful as it did, especially visually. It is really, really good. It felt like something that deserved to be on the big screen, and that's what impressed me the most. I'm just shocked, and I'm thinking, wow, if we get a series that follows the trend of the first 2 episodes, then we could really have a new Star Trek on our hand that people talk about for a long, long time to come. So I figured, wouldn't it be cool if we actually ranked from least to best the Star Trek series? So I'm going to give my ranking, and then you can say what you want to say in the comments, because I do want to know how you would rank it, and we're going to get into it. Guys, this is going to be a super quick video, so I'm going to give the ranking and be out. So guys, make sure that you subscribe, because I do want to know what your comments are. Also, connect, you guys, because we're going to talk about Star Trek Discovery as we get into the next episode on Sunday. So, number 5 for me. Number 5 easily has got to be Deep Space Nine. Do I need to say anything? Is this enough? So Deep Space Nine to me wasn't interesting at all. I mean, we had our first black captain, right on. But not even he was interesting, and to me, he was not even a good fit for captain of the station. I appreciate the diversity, Roddenberry and crew, but I don't think that he was a good fit for captain of that station. The big problem with that show to me was that it was boring. There was a conflict between the Bajorans and the Cardassians that revolved around the station, but there wasn't enough space exploration, which I get, they were on the station. And the show just felt very flat, and then a lot of the characters on the station were not interesting to me. The Ferengi was cool. Odo was interesting, the shapeshifter, but outside of that, there was nothing really engaging about that show to make me enjoy it a lot. So definitely Deep Space Nine is my least favorite. So number 4 is going to get me in trouble, you guys, and let me just come on and say it. Listen, live long and prosper. That's right, you guys. I'm sorry. Number 4 for me is the original series. The original series is really cool, and it was hard for me because there was a lot of cool stuff that came out of the original series. Bam, live long and prosper. And how many of us haven't tried the old Spock, the little death neck pinch thing? You know, you tried it on your little brother or your little sister. You know you did. So there was some really cool stuff, but it was not one that was overly entertaining to me. It was just not one that I enjoyed a whole bunch. I did watch it, and we got some iconic characters from it. Definitely. Some characters that actually set the stage for a lot of the other series to come, but it just was not something that I was overly excited about. I can hear you now. You are a moron, and you are not a true Star Trek fan. Delete your channel, idiot. I can see that happening right now, but listen, that's number 4 for me, you guys. All right, number 3. So number 3 for me just has to be Enterprise. Enterprise was, man, it was flat. Again, it was kind of the same thing that I felt like Deep Space Nine suffered from. None of the main characters were interesting. I like Scott Bakula as an actor, and he was Captain Archer on the ship, but even he was not very interesting, and there was not one single person on that crew that I felt like there was a storyline that I wanted to follow. I did enjoy this series more than I did the original Star Trek and Deep Space Nine, but again, this series kind of left a lot to be desired. So the exploration to me was a little bit problematic, and the time travel piece was a little bit weird, but it did have some episodes that I did enjoy. But just on the whole, I think my problem with 3 is that I expected a lot more, and it just didn't give me what I was hoping that we were going to get. So that's my take for number 3. Number 2, of course, is Voyager. I actually thought Voyager was pretty cool, and again, I like the fact that we had Janeway, our first female captain. I thought that was cool. And they did have some characters in Voyager to me that were noteworthy, that were worth exploring. 7 of 9 and some of those folks. So I thought that Voyager was cool because the concept too of kind of really being way out there and trying to get home in an area of space that they had not explored, and really being the lone starship out there from the Enterprise was an interesting idea. So I did enjoy a lot of the episodes for Voyager also. I enjoyed a lot of the character development, I enjoyed a lot of the story arcs, and I especially enjoyed the episode where they got home. So I liked Voyager. Voyager is definitely number 2 for me. Number 1. You guys know what that is. Of course, it is Star Trek The Next Generation. By far, to me so far, the best series. And the main reason for that is the characters in Star Trek Next Generation. Everybody on that ship is interesting. Like, everybody on that ship is a character in and of themselves that you would not mind following their story arc. I mean, the performances were so strong in this series that I don't know how anybody could not like it. I mean, and it's interesting because all the characters in Star Trek The Next Generation kind of have their niche, kind of have this this thing or this attribute or aspect about them that make them individually interesting. And what is impressive about that is that you have so many of those characters on the same ship, and that's what the other series failed to do. I mean, you can dig into Picard, you can dig into number 1, I can't remember his name right now. You can dig into Data, you can dig into Crusher, you can dig into both Crushers, Wesley and his mom, interestingly enough. You have Q, you have LeVar Burton as, names are escaping me right now. I can't remember their names. Lieutenant LaForge and Will Riker is number 1. I don't know what's happening. But then you have Q. So you have all these different characters that are interesting in and of themselves. And then when you weave in how well the storytelling was in number 1, as well as just how visually pleasing it was, everything kind of melded together in a very, very nice way for Star Trek Next Generation. And even though visually Star Trek Next Generation wasn't necessarily super dynamic, it was the melding of the storytelling, the performances, and the visuals that really gave Star Trek The Next Generation a very, very unique feel. I do think that a big part of that is the performances of Captain Jean-Luc Picard, who is my favorite captain by far. So for me, number 1, hands down, is the best series that we've seen so far. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Star Trek Discovery and to see if it can trump number 1 for me, because I will tell you, visually and tonally and in terms of intensity, it's really, really impressive. My fear for Star Trek Discovery is that how long will they be able to sustain something like that? Because we're talking about a series here. Hopefully we're not just talking about a miniseries, and we're not just talking about a movie. We're talking about a series. So it'll be interesting to see how long they can keep that kind of feel and tone. But I was super impressed. So there you go, you guys. Those are my rankings. Guys, what did you think about that? Did you disagree with me? You better not, because I'm Al and I'm always right. Everybody knows that. No, guys, seriously, what did you think? I want to know what your rankings are. Put them below. Let me know. Guys, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button, because we're really going to try and dig into Star Trek Discovery. There's a lot of interesting ideas built around this show, so it really will be interesting to see what they do with the show and how they develop it, especially as we get introduced to some of the iconic characters very early on, like Serac and things like that. And then there's some relationships that we will find out in this show, the new series, that are interwoven with some of the iconic characters that we know from other shows. So the potential here is really, really good. A lot of good stuff to dig into and talk about. Guys, thank you so much. Please make sure that you subscribe and all of that good stuff. Like, comment, share. Let's get some discussion going on around this. And that is all I have. I will see you on Sunday, and I'm out. Peace.